Hey man, I'm gonna help you out taking your airflow ring off of your Nautilus today. Basically, it's actually a really easy process once you get through the first step. First step is definitely the hardest. I have my Nautilus here, just normal old Nautilus. As you can see, I've already taken the airflow ring off of mine, exposing all 4 holes. It gives it a lot more airflow, a lot better, better cloud, and in my opinion, a little better taste. So it actually is really difficult to get this bottom ring off, and that's what the first step is. Pretty much the only step. A lot of people will tell you to use pliers. I find that that's really difficult. I can't do it. I've tried multiple times to just yank it off with pliers. It didn't work. So what I did is, I can't do it right now because the airflow ring is no longer on it, but when the airflow ring was on here, I had just enough space to fit a very small flathead screwdriver in between the airflow ring and this bottom ring down here. So basically, airflow ring still on there, turn it upside down. You're going to squeeze your flathead right in between the airflow ring and that bottom ring right here. And basically what I did was just held the screwdriver completely flat and then just twisted it up to leverage that airflow ring off of there. So basically just set it flat up against there, squeeze it in there as much as you can, and then just twist a little bit, turn your entire thing around a little bit, put it in, twist, turn it another quarter or so, put it in, twist, turn another quarter or so, put it in, twist. Continue that process until you can eventually twist it all the way around so that your flathead's pushing, like standing straight up, pretty much the max width that you can get in there. And at that point, it should either pop right off, or you should be able to take a pair of pliers and pop it right off. Once you do that, I'd say be careful, because there is one thing you have to look out for, because if you do want to put that airflow ring back on, you do have to pay attention, because there is a spring that's attached to, it's not attached to anything, it's just sitting in this hole right here, holding that, letting that airflow ring click into place as you spin it around. So you can actually see the hole here. Try and get a little close. So that's just your airflow hole, another airflow hole, another airflow hole, and then on that 4th airflow hole, I believe it's the smallest one. Yeah, the smallest airflow hole, right above that, there's this large hole. There's actually a spring that sits right in there. So when you slide that airflow ring off of there, that spring's going to pop off. And if you're planning on possibly putting the airflow ring back on, I don't know why you would, but if you were thinking about it, just make sure that you keep that spring, because I don't even know if you can get a replacement just for that part. It's a little tiny spring, probably only about that long and like that wide, so it's really tiny. It just fits in that hole there. So just be careful about that when you're doing it. Feel free to try the pliers. I couldn't get it to work, but maybe you can. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just screwdriver in there, twist it around a little bit, get it to pop off. Just be nice and gentle with it, and it is going to be pretty difficult to get it off, so just be forewarned there. It's probably going to take a little while. Just be gentle and patient with it. Make sure you work it all the way around before you try and open any part wider. Otherwise it might get a little stuck in that position where like one side is up, one side's down if you push one side too far up. So just make sure that you're working it around, you're spinning that around as you're taking that bottom ring off. And again, that's the bottom ring. It's actually the bottom of the Nautilus. This is my Nautilus yet again. For me, it seemed to boost vapor production and also boost flavor quality, in my opinion. I mean, if you have one of those, actually no, that's nothing to do. But if you're thinking about like rebuilding the coil or anything, I've done that as well. It's not a huge difference. You can definitely tell that there's something different about it. It's definitely fun. Definitely something to think about. It's not particularly difficult. So if you're ever thinking about that, I could also help you out with that. There are tons of YouTube tutorials on it. Super fun to do, not particularly useful. Since I did rebuild this coil, when I put this in, you might hear a slight gurgle. I just want you to know that that juice that's not going into my mouth when that gurgles, it's not coming up the drip tip. It's actually it's actually just around the wick area, because I like to put a couple drops on there when I switch out juices. So give me 1 second and I will pack this baby up and smoke it a little bit.